Hello and welcome, Aries, to your June blessings. So I have a few different categories of blessings here. I thought it's time for some levity. It's time for some, you know, good news. It's time for some good news, right? So I'm going to go ahead and dive into these. Of course, receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to a reading or an outcome, okay? And you can always look at other zodiac messages too if you're called to the videos or you're called to the title. So that was just something else that I want to share. So, okay, the blessings that you have, Aries, for June are pretty incredible. So we'll start with the creative blessings. We have bliss is worth creating from. And we have welcome the divine masculine. So those of you that have kind of been evolving and growing on your journey that are in masculine energy, you are having an incredible shift here, okay? For those of you that have been healing a lot on your journey, you could be connecting in more of a sacred, healthier, balanced masculine energy into your experience if you're feminine or if that's what you're calling into your experience. But what this tells me is, Aries, you have transmuted so much in your experience to the point where it's like now you're ready to create from a place of bliss. You're ready to create from a place of joy. Okay, so you're shifting to a joy frequency, and look at these colors. Look how beautiful they are, how kind of inspiring and bright they are, right? So you're going to be feeling that energy. You're going to be in your creative flow, right? Even with that welcome the divine masculine energy, there's that sense of masculine energies around you evolving and shifting, right? Often that happens when the feminine energy ascends and shifts in her frequency. It kind of triggers other energies around her to do the same, right? But the other welcome, the divine masculine energy that's coming through is like you're finding a balance between your feminine and masculine energy within you. And you're going to be kind of working together in a very harmonious flow, right? So that's going to be really helpful for kind of what you are creating. But some of you could also be your relationships and your connections are going to, you're going to find people are kind of up leveling to rise to meet you, but that there's just more interconnectedness. There's more lightness and support in your experience in June. So when it comes to love and relationships, we have the Three of Cups. This is a spicy deck I can't show because of YouTube guidelines. However, you are definitely going to be feeling some ecstasy, some bliss, some joy. There's just a lightness and a trust and an expansion that's happening within your heart space and within your experience and within your relationships. With that Three of Cups, it's keeping things light. It's not anything that is, there's not a lot of denseness or heaviness on the connection here. But you're definitely open to receiving pleasure. You're open to, again, kind of being in this bliss energy. Some of you really tapping in with that sacred sensual energy, right? And creating from that space. And it's just bringing a lot of joy into your experience. But yeah, it definitely feels like within your love connections and relationships, there is a sense of fulfillment. There is a sense of wishes coming true. There is a sense of being with people and energies that you can relax and trust with the Three of Cups, right? There's joy. There could even be some reunion energy coming through here. But you're in this beautiful space within like your mind and within your heart space. What you'll be surrendering in June, which will be a blessing, is surrender to your soul's path, Aries, okay? Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So there's the sense of, I feel like you've done a lot of reflection. Again, you've moved through a lot of density and challenges and obstacles. And yes, there's always another level, right? But when I first read surrender to your soul's path, because I don't always take the words, as absolute truth on the cards, what I felt was like you are surrendering to your light, meaning you're going to be shining brighter, more authentic in who you are, more grounded in who you are, right? And that's going to actually elevate you to the right platforms, in the right spaces and places, so you can shine and you can assist those that you're meant to assist here, okay? But there could be some reflection in June where you're just really, really freaking proud of yourself. Okay. You're really proud of what you've come from, what you've come through, where you've come from, how you have evolved on your path. Okay. And you're just embracing more of life. You're embracing more of bliss. You're embracing more of pleasure here in your experience. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is the path I'm meant to shine on. Like, you're not hiding anymore is what's coming through, right? At least authentically who you are, right? So the egoic mask is kind of coming down, but like, you're really speaking out. You're really honoring authentically who you are and showing up in this world. And that is very fulfilling for you, because that's part of your soul path, part of your soul journey, right? Maybe for some of you, part of your soul mission. When we come to the spaces and places where there might be some blessing energy around you, or just that are inspiring or fulfilling, we have church, spiritual sanctuary, or sacred architecture. So some of you, there's like a sacred space where you're going to receive some sort of blessing, or maybe connect with some energies or people that is going to be very uplifting for you here. It doesn't have to be a church, but it's a spiritual experience, or it's a space where you connect with others that just really align you for, your soul's path here. We also have the sea, ocean, waves, and seaside. So some of you could be some sort of holiday or vacation, or you just find that spending time by the water is really soothing. It just feels good to you. June feels like a feel good month for the most part, okay, for you, Aries. So the sea energy, you might love the sea. Some of you might live by the sea. You might be traveling again for some sort of holiday here. But there's this sense of kind of, again, with like the surrender, the relaxation, and just like the inspiration. Water energy is a conduit for spirit. And the sea in particular, especially like sea salt, right? Some of you, maybe it's that you bring kind of sea salt into your experience, help you kind of cleanse and clear energy. But it's very healing. I remember after a particular experience in my life where I was healing a significant and life-changing, from a significant life-changing moment. I went out into the sea, and I just, we were on a beach, and I just kind of went out there, and I just kind of connected in with the energy there, and just let it wash away. Just let it wash away the density, let it wash away, the experience, and just kind of go through, and I wasn't very deep in the water. I wasn't, but I was just connecting in with that water. You can even just put your feet in the water and set that intention. Just feel that love and that support. And those of you that connect with the sea or connect with the water energy, you know what I'm saying. Like, that you're connecting with an energy when there's a respect to have for the sea, but there's also like this incredible wisdom, and very healing. It can be very healing. So some of you, I'm also seeing a boat. Okay, maybe you'll be going on a boat ride, going for a cruise. Maybe some of you are going on a cruise in June. But that's what's coming through for the spaces and places. And when we go to look at the character deck, a person that is going to be bringing a blessing into your life is father. So some of you, this blessing could come from a father in your experience, or a father-like figure. Okay. There could be a healing of a father wound, okay? And that's something that's really supportive of you here in June. You could also just receive a lot of love and compassion from your father here, Aries, for those of you that, clicked on this message. A soul truth blessing is name all the things that you love. Are you one of them? And today's mantra, I give myself all the love and attention I need. So you're showering yourself with love, and I feel like you're receiving that love here too, Aries, okay? A loving message that you'll be receiving perhaps in June is, I'm so proud of everything you have accomplished. So that could come from a partner, that could come from a friend, that could come from a family member, okay? It could come from a father figure. Some of you, if you have a father wound of like not feeling good enough, or like feeling like you've been wanting to make your father proud, but you've never had that love from your father, or that those words of affirmation. That's something that could be happening in June here. Okay. So, but either way, there's that healing energy around a father energy or father figure. If you're married and have children, maybe it's the father, of your children that this blessing is coming from, where you're receiving a lot of love and appreciation, and you have a lot of self-love here too. When it comes to the inner child healing, we have discernment. All is not what it seems. Stay true to your knowing and keep your dreams a secret. So some of you, you're going to know in June who you can share information with, who you cannot. Those that genuinely support us, they really celebrate when we have our wins, or even if they don't understand like the win, but they still share in the joy of the experience, right? So there's kind of that message where you might be celebrating something, some sort of goal accomplished. And, there are those that, again, genuinely support and celebrate you. And there are those that maybe don't, right? And so just being aware of who you're sharing your wins with, your celebrations with, because obviously there are those that are really proud of everything that you've accomplished, are really proud of you, and then there are others that are jealous, right? There are others that maybe are not as trustworthy or not as aligned with you, that don't celebrate your authenticity, or your light shining can trigger them. We all know that happens. That's a whole part of people project on us, right? So that's something to just kind of be aware of. Or if you are like working on some sort of project, maybe keep that to yourself, kind of preserve the magic, right, of it. Spiritual discernment also being important here, right? And I think also knowing like who your inner child comes out with, like kind of like your silly goofy side or your quirky side comes out with, tells you like who you're really comfortable with, versus those that your inner child's like doesn't want to come out, right? Like your inner child kind of stays stuck within, or like, again, knowing that part of yourself that can kind of be a warning that that person isn't somebody who's trustworthy or somebody that you feel safe with, right? Or maybe somebody you want to share that information with. So before you share your wins or celebrations, really check in with yourself to see like, okay, is this the right person to be sharing this with? Is this the right space to be sharing this in? When we get into, we also have the beloved energy. Prepare for life. Your life partner, romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable. So there's a lot of love. There's a lot of fulfillment. There's a lot of receiving praise and appreciation. And this beloved energy to me also is coming through from the universe. It's coming through from your loved ones on the other side. It's coming through from, you're just receiving a lot of love and support, and butterflies could be a symbol of that. The other message that's coming through with the beloved energy, for those of you that are single, maybe you've been dating, like you could be preparing yourself for someone that you could have a long-term relationship, or could be more of a match for you, because it says romance is returning to your relationship, so maybe a relationship will improve, or it's prepare for your life partner. So some of you, it's like you had to go on a self-love journey and love yourself first before aligning with like a soulmate energy here. We also have growth. Seek out a mentor or guide. Take baby steps as you grow. Be willing to learn from others. Okay, so be willing to learn from others. It looks like there's some sort of guide or mentor or somebody who can assist you with something maybe that you are learning about, or you're maybe challenged by a little bit here. Okay, some of you, you're learning discernment, within your relationships, or you're really strong in your discernment in your relationships in June. We also have for your spiritual blessing, clairsentience. So trust in your inner feeling. That's going to be really strong, really in tune. This is focusing on the solar plexus and the gut energy, right? And our gut has its own intelligence. So trusting in and knowing your body cues and your clairsentience. If, like I said, if you're about to share some really exciting news and all of a sudden you get this like twinge, like, oh, listen to that twinge, right? Listen to that feeling or that message from your body, because it may not be the right time or space or person to be sharing that with. Same with relationships. There could be some relationships shifts and changes in June. Okay, so the clairsentience energy is important to trust in and believe in. Yeah, our bodies are one big psychic antenna. We can pick up on energy. We can pick up on things that are, unsaid. And you will probably know this, okay? And you can feel that, yeah, through the solar plexus. But some of you will have body cues, you know, in other areas, and you will know that too. You'll know what kind of your green light, what's your yellow light, what's your red light here, right? So it's really going to be about your will center being strong and grounded in who you are, okay? And yeah, embracing this soul path, this journey that you've been on, and opening up to receive these blessings, opening up to receive this appreciation, and loving yourself on this deep level. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Aries. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't feel a need to do an extended, so this will be it. Take the best care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.